The Los Angeles Chargers are, in my opinion, the most interesting team in my eyes heading into the 2022 season for a couple of reasons. One, they have so much talent on the roster, and I'm eager to see how they all play together. Number two, they are led by one of the best young quarterbacks in the league that is a fan favorite amongst NFL fans in Justin Herbert. And three, I feel like they are a team that produces the most diverse thoughts. Some think they're legit Super Bowl contenders, and some believe they're a fringe playoff team. I tend to fall somewhere towards the higher side, and I want to talk about why I feel that way. But before we start, y'all, make sure to like and to comment and to share and subscribe, man. We are running this channel. Let's go. Let's keep it going, man. Just keep showing me love, and I'm coming out more videos like this, NFL, college football, things like that. Season's back. It's back, man. So stay tuned for more videos like this. But without further ado, enough of me talking about it. Let's get into this video. The LA Chargers have been an up-and-coming team for a couple years now, and that rebuilding process post Phillip Rivers went by so smoothly, and that's all thanks to Justin Herbert. Him immediately coming into the NFL and having the success he's had individually is something we should all marvel at. He's lived up to the expectation and even has surpassed it in some people's eyes. He's one of the few bright spots for the Chargers in 2020, as he almost carried them to the playoffs that year. But poor coaching decisions and an inconsistent defense prevented all of that. Herbert set rookie records for most passing yards, most 300-yard games, and most completions. This past season was much of the same. He was very effective with the deep ball, which is probably his best attribute besides knowing exactly where to go with the ball. From a distance, he seems like a guy that can galvanize everyone on the offensive side of things and get everyone in order. And speaking of other pieces, Keenan Allen has been consistently one of the best receivers in the game. Mike Williams is a solid second option, and Jalen Guyton and Josh Palmer will be returning as well. So the continuity is there at the wide receiver spot, as well as the running back spot led by Austin Ekeler, who's I feel like one of the most underrated running backs in the league. He's a very good two-way back in terms of rushing and receiving. Because of that, he's an essential piece for what the Chargers do offensively. After Ekeler, it will be interesting to see who fills up that backup role. The Chargers also returning two Pro Bowl linemen in Corey Linsley and Rashawn Slater. Last year, the line gave up the sixth least amount of sacks in the league, and I actually expect that number to get even better. And as crazy as it may sound, I expect Justin Herbert to be even better and more efficient this season, because last year he was carrying around the 29th best defense in the NFL, which means in many games the Chargers had no choice but to force the ball up the field 24/7, which led to a decent amount of turnovers with Herbert. He was sitting at 15 interceptions last year. I think the offense as a whole will be more free-flowing for one of two reasons. All the most important pieces are returning for Herbert, and Herbert, Ekeler, 5 of their top 6 pass catches from a year ago are returning. Their Pro Bowl linemen are returning, along with the offensive coordinator. The second reason, I think the offense will be more cautious with the ball, not having to force as many things, because the defense will be even better. Speaking of defense, the Chargers defense most definitely has the talent on it, but last season the talent didn't translate to production on the field. They were absolutely horrendous in points given up, rush defense, and third down defense, as they ranked 29th or worse in all three of those categories. They did the right thing and brought in some huge names to try to solve the issue. Let's start off with Khalil Mack. This guy will no doubt help alleviate some of the problems defensively, as he can rush the passer at will and be a run stopper. With his time on the Bears, they gave up 4.5 yards per carry when he was off the field, as opposed to only 3.8 yards per carry when he's on. To put that into context into the 2021 season team stats, 3.8 yards per carry would have ranked second in the league, while 4.5 yards per carry would have been 22nd in the league. Huge difference. They bring in Kyle Van Noy, who will infuse a relatively younger team with his leadership and guidance. He also brings in much needed versatility to the defense, and he's an overall fundamentally sound guy coming from the Patriots Belichick system. Speaking of systems, Sebastian Day was also acquired, and he's playing under Brandon Staley's system again, like he did in 2020 in the other SoFi locker room when they were a part of the Rams. That year, Day was a problem. According to Pro Football Focus, he led all players at his position with 35 run stops and a run stop percentage at 14%. The Rams ranked first in yards per carry, only surrendering 3 yards per carry when Joseph Day was on the field, as opposed to ranking 27th, giving up 4.7 yards per carry when he was on the sideline. And even last year without Staley, he was leading the league in run stops and run percentage before he got injured. They also bring in nose tackle Austin Johnson, who just had his career year in New York with the Giants. In terms of production, he also finished top 10 in run stops. It's safe to say the Chargers were not playing about this offseason when it came to improving their front seven. And in the back end, they bring in one of the best corners in the game today in J.C. Jackson, as his numbers are comparable to a guy like Jalen Ramsey. Jackson has had the most interceptions over the past 2 seasons, and it makes sense because he's a very fundamentally sound guy. He doesn't get beat deep. He doesn't bite on like double moves, things like that. He has great ball skills to go up and get the ball. He can turn himself into a receiver if he's close enough. So he has a lot of great attributes. He will do wonders for the Chargers in the back end. And obviously they're going to need him for the explosive offenses in the AFC West. Derwin James is one of the best safeties in the game right now, and he can pretty much do it all. He can play in the box. He can cover tight ends. He can go sideline to sideline in coverage. He can come down and hit hard. He always seems to be around the play no matter what, and that just goes to put on display his IQ for the game, his preparedness, and his effort every single play. He's been fully healthy in 2 of the 4 seasons he's been in the league. And in those 2 seasons, he's been absolutely elite, making the Pro Bowl. So I expect this year to be nothing different as long as he's healthy. All in all, the Chargers' defense should be vastly improved, especially in the run game. This will definitely help out the offense more than ever, and I think they'll be more efficient. It's ironic how Anthony Lynn was fired after the 2020 season due to his poor in-game coaching decisions. But the reason they missed the playoffs in 2021 was because Brandon Staley's poor in-game decisions versus the Raiders had cost them. The Chargers have been on the wrong side of close games over the past couple years. Since 2019, they've lost 21 games by 1 score. That's 43% of the games they've played over that time, and that's 75% of their losses. So hopefully they can figure out how to finish out and win close games, especially being in big-time battles with every other team in the division who is very good. I think that's what this season's going to come down to for the Chargers as a whole. And this is Staley's second season to where he's been a head coach, so it's understandable that he's still learning the nuances of the position of being a head coach in terms of clock management and things like that. There's still improvements to be made, but he's definitely better than Anthony Lynn. They returned pretty much everyone from the offense, so I expect them to be even better this year. And I expect Justin Herbert to be an MVP candidate. And honestly, I think the Chargers, I'll go out on a limb and say they'll win the AFC West and contend for a Super Bowl. Am I super confident in that pick? No, but I'm going out on a limb because why not? I think they're a very good team. Last year, I thought they were going to make the playoffs. To be fair, they should have, but they didn't. But this year, I think they're putting it all together. They will make the playoffs this year. I think they'll win the division. The Chiefs will take a step back, I believe. They'll still be a very good team. The Raiders and the Broncos are very solid teams as well. But I feel like the Chargers have the highest upside at this moment in time in the division. So I think they'll win the division. I think the defense will have a lot to prove despite the acquisitions and the talent, because they got to be able to put it all together. And if they can't put it all together, the league is in trouble. With that being said, y'all let me know what y'all think about the Chargers and what their record will be in 2022. Will they be much improved defensively? Are they winning the division? Are they legit Super Bowl contenders? Y'all let me know. But this is Jimmy from Just the Facts, and I'm signing out. Peace.